What's going on, Thompson'S Kennels? I don't usually shoot videos for this, but I actually thought this was a good video. I was at work today. I was on the roof. I had my Bluetooth in. I had a young bull call me on the phone. He was inquiring about getting in the dog game, and he got a piece of land and stuff, and he was inquiring about certain things with the breed and how to go about certain things. I'm not really a big advice giver, but he asked me some really good questions. Yeah, and at the end of the conversation, he told me, he was like, "Man, I know you don't do a lot of them videos like that no more, but this one was a good one." So I said, "Hey, fuck it, what I got to lose?" But the first question was about kennel partners, and he wanted to start his little business with his dogs and stuff, and he was inquiring about, do I have a kennel partner, and have I ever had one? No, I've never had a kennel partner. The reason why I never had a kennel partner is because the years that I've been dealing in these dogs and shit, I've met more ex-kennel partners than I've actually met kennel partners. I've never been in a situation where I couldn't take care of my dogs. I work, I make good money, I'm able to provide for my animals. If I ever had an absurd amount of dogs where I couldn't take care of them, my mindset wouldn't be for me to get a kennel partner. It would more or less be for me that I need to downsize my yard. But that's the reason with the kennel partners. A lot of times with kennel partners, the visions change because my vision may not be my kennel partner's vision, and we may disagree. I'm a boss status with me. I don't like asking approval, or you know what I mean. It's not my makeup. It's not knocking kennel partners, but everything ain't peaches and cream. If you get what I'm saying, everything you need to look at a pro and also look at the cons. And the years that I've been in dogs, I've seen way more cons with that than actual pros. So that's why I never had a kennel partner. If it may take me longer to get to a certain goal, if I'm trying to breed something up or produce a certain caliber of dog, yeah, it may take more time. But with that, I'm willing to do that, because if I fail, my failure is on me. There's no fingers to point. I fucked up. So I'd rather take that road than take another kind of road. You know what I mean? So that was the answer for the kennel partner thing. The second thing was the feed and stuff. Everybody asks me about food and feed. Like I said, I got a playlist with all this stuff on it. Y'all are more than welcome to look at this playlist. But what works for somebody else may not work for your dog. There is no secret formula or any of that stuff. Hey, y'all shut it up. There's no perfect plan or no perfect feed regimen that's gonna answer all your questions for your dogs. Some people do kibble, some people do raw, some people do a mixture. It all depends on what works for your animal. That's why over the years y'all have seen me refrain from doing a lot of how-to videos, because my experience over the years was trial by fire. I've been on some major dog yards, and these guys are feeding pedigree and puppy chow, and their dogs look phenomenal, but their dogs look phenomenal on that. What works for that group of dogs and that family tree of dogs may not work for my family tree of dogs. I mean, raw is great, but then it's not great sometimes. I had a personal friend of mine who's in the bulldogs. He wanted to do raw. He got on raw, and a lot of people who don't own these type of breed of dogs, these American PITBULL terriers, game dogs, the slang for them is bulldogs. These dogs are hyper over everything. Everything. When they eat, it's intense. At least the caliber of dogs that I breed. He had the same caliber of dogs. He did raw. One of them dogs did not chew the bone and swallowed the whole fucking bone. The bone got lodged in his intestines and his dog died. Sometimes trying to follow other people and what they do and how they do it, and I'm going to use this for my own personal recollect. The L's that I've taken in this game have been doing something that wasn't conducive to what I've been doing, which equaled me success. It's been switching up and doing extra shit where I've took losses left and right. So everything may sound good, and you may have a lot of people out here preaching how-to videos, but keep in mind that shit can backfire on you real fucking quick. Like I said, every family tree of dogs is different. People think food is a direct relation to how your dog looks. That if you're believing that, good luck. It's about genetics. Dogs that are genetically built to be a certain way will be a certain way. If you feed them raw, if you feed them motherfucking pedigree, they're genetically built up to be that. The food is not going to change what your dog is genetically. And I tell people that all the time. So if you got a bullshit dog that you purchased from 2 bullshit parents, odds are your dog's going to be bullshit. Genetics is very consistent. You have an anomaly here and there where it'll be like, oh yeah, this great dog came off of these subpar dogs, but is that the consistent? That's what you need to ask yourself. Has that what's been consistently occurring? No, that's why it's called an anomaly. So with the how-to videos, I refrain from that stuff a lot, because like I said, what works for me doesn't work for everybody. It may not work for everybody. It may work. That's why I said it's trial by fire. But when you do something with your animals, always consider the con. Don't always think it's going to be a pro. Because I know my partner felt some kind of way burying his dog because he did something that he normally wouldn't do, following what somebody else is saying. So take that for what it's worth. The third part of his conversation was he was trying to formulate a plan or a schedule. As far as he seemed really ambitious, he wanted to be on. There's no top of the dog game. And I'm gonna tell y'all young bulls this shit, and I hope y'all take this shit to heart when I tell y'all this. There's no top of the dog game. There's no pinnacle you're gonna reach where it's like, oh, I don't have to pick up dog shit anymore. I don't have to buy dog food. I don't have to take care of these animals. The top for me was I wanted to get to a point where I produced dogs where I could walk around my yard and feed up and not feel no kind of way about the dogs that I was feeding. Every dog that I approached and fed up, I was pleased and satisfied with what that dog brought to the table. That's the top. That was my goal and my dream. I want to have a yard of dogs that I produced that bring the traits and tendencies to the table that I like. And it takes a long time to get there, because as a breeder, you're always tweaking little things, tweaking and trying to come up with the perfect caliber of dog with what you're satisfied with. That's why I said breeding for other people. I never done a breeding that I did because I thought somebody else wanted it. I gotta want this shit. That's why I keep a lot of dogs off my breedings. This dog game is a passion where you have to be satisfied. Okay? The goal isn't to try to satisfy everybody else. If you dealing with people or you sell dogs or you get to a point where you're selling dogs, they should be satisfied because they did the research on what you was doing. So if you can replicate what you were doing and give it to them, they'll be satisfied with it. That's why I did that do your research video. A lot of people don't research anything and they just bust a move and then figure out this ain't really the type of dog that I wanted. Do your research. And it's not going to always, you may get dealt a bad dog dealing in dogs, but it dumbs down the numbers on you opening your yard to something that may not be what you entirely are happy with. So I thought that would be a nice little video because it was a very good conversation. Me and him spoke for about 40 minutes, and like I said, it actually made my day go by a little bit quicker. So I said, hey, let me go ahead and throw this up. So it was like a reiteration of the conversation me and him had. But I hope it helps somebody out there who's asking questions or possibly had the same questions he was having. And like I said, I'm not a know-it-all. I'm not a preacher. I'm not an instructor. I'm just a dog man. And I'm going to be honest with you when it comes down to certain shit. So I hope this helps some of y'all out. And like I said, I still don't know how this bull got my number, but it's all good. But if anybody else needs to reach me, it's thompsonkennels@gmail.com. I am a very busy man, so if I do have time to answer some questions, I'll go ahead and reply back to you. But if I don't take it personal, because like I said, I got a lot of shit going on in the midst of taking care of a yard full of dogs and a family and everything else. So it's thompsonskennels@gmail.com. Y'all have a blessed day.